Namaskar, this is Akhilesh Bhargav. Welcome to Tit-Bits on Business and Finance with me. The biggest financial crimes that are committed in India are by corporate fraudsters and those who cheat banks. These persons, they commit mega frauds on the public, they cheat the public in a huge way, and they also dupe banks and financial institutions. Experience says that the more powerful, the more influential be the corporate con man, the bigger is the size of the fraud that he is able to commit because he is able to game the system. A Vijay Mallya did not commit a fraud, a crime of just a few dozen crores. He cheated banks for over 6,000 crores, a reflection of the kind of influence and power he had at that point of time. Experience also says that when a bigger person, a more influential person commits a fraud, all the others are willing to join in and collude with him. Take the case of ILFS. In the case of ILFS, it was a giant fraud of over 1,30,000 crores, and thus all the big names were party to it. Its independent directors who were supposed to keep a check on the promoter directors were all celebrity names very well connected in their respective domains, and even their auditors were a top-notch firm, Deloitte and KPMG. They were willing to sign their bogus financial statements. So when all these big names, big men, well-connected, powerful, influential persons get together, even the size of the fraud is sizable. Take the case of Jet Airways, again a big fraud, a very well-connected person. Or take the case of Sterling Biotech, same is the case. So when these kind of persons get together, not only do they cheat the system, they do it in a huge way. But then, because they are powerful, because they are influential and well connected, they generally get away with no punishment, or they are given very light punishment which is not commensurate with the kind of crime they committed. A small common thief who may have robbed a person for just a small amount of money perhaps gets far more severe punishment as compared to these corporate criminals who have indulged in far, far bigger crimes. Experience also says that it is those small criminals, I use the word small with reference to the amount involved, those who have cheated banks for just a few million rupees, they tend to be punished for sure very severely as compared to those who cheated the banks for thousands of crores. That's how our system works. You can be sure that even if a Nirav Modi comes back to India, he will be given punishment which is not commensurate with the $2 billion fraud that he has committed on Punjab National Bank and other banks. And even if he is jailed for some time, you can be sure he will be released very soon to enjoy all the ill-gotten loot that he has taken and secretly parked it away. So experience says, enough reasons are there to say that those who commit big financial crimes in India are not punished sufficiently. Take the case of Manpasand Beverages. Manpasand Beverages, a listed company, made its first IPO in 2015. It raised 400 crores from the public at a premium. In 2016, it raised another 500 crores from the public and many other institutions at a premium. The company was doing well as far as the financial statements at that point of time were concerned. So it managed to show a rosy picture. It was growing at a fast pace. Its profits were shooting up. That enticed many others to buy shares of Manpasand Beverages from the stock markets at hefty premiums. It now turns out that its financial statements were not correct. All the growth that it showed is now suspect, and so are the profits. It turns out that Manpasand Beverages has had over 30 units all over the country whose only job was to generate bogus billing in order to show growth in turnover. It is estimated out of the rates conducted by the GST department that as against sales of about 710 for a particular period of Manpasand Beverages, almost 300 crores of turnover was bogus. It was turnover created between these 30 units owned by the promoters, which was never disclosed to be bogus. It was shown to be genuine sales. So those sales were not correct, and so were the profits against it. They too were not correct. And The managing director, CFO, and other top officials of Manpasand Beverages have now been arrested for having evaded GST to the tune of 40 crores. It turns out that exemplary picture of growth of Manpasand Beverages was because of manipulated, rosy financial statements, and the entire story has come crashing down. The price of Manpasand Beverages on the stock markets, the share price, has come down by 60% since 24th of May. And you can be sure that with this story of Manpasand out in the open, a default on its bank loans could be imminent, even though it has not defaulted so far. And if it has taken public deposits, even that default is likely to happen. Manpasand Beverages is a case of bogus financial statements used to draw money, to lure the public to invest in it, and on the basis of statements which were fraudulent. They deserve a very severe punishment. It is not incorrect to say that such kind of promoters must actually be sent to jail for life. That's not an extreme reaction by us. It's not something that we are reacting in a strong way. These punishments are meted out in other countries which could be comparable to India. Let's take a comparable case in the US. There's a company, a listed company there called Longfin Corporation. Longfin Corporation did something similar to what Manpasand Beverages did in India. It had a lot of group entities through which Longfin Corporation booked bogus turnover, bogus profits, and it showed a rosy picture. Its share price went up by 2000% in a short period of time. It turned out that all its rosy, solid financial statements were a falsity. What's happened now? And this was done in 2017 and 2018. And what's happened now? The SEC USA, which is the equivalent of SEBI India, has got into motion. They have indicted the promoters of Longfin Corporation. Charges have been filed against them, and they are likely to be held guilty, which would entail a jail term, imprisonment for about 20 years, and also a fine of $5 million. There are additional charges being pressed against the promoters of Longfin Corporation in the US on account of financial frauds committed, and that could mean another 20 years of imprisonment for the promoters of Longfin Corporation. I'm repeating, they did the same manipulation the way Manpasand Beverages did. Bogus sales out of units owned by the same promoter group, sales which were not genuine, profits which are not genuine. And you can be sure that the promoters of Longfin Corporation in the US will be in jail for life. In India, we don't give such a severe punishment for these corporate crimes, which actually they deserve to be given to those fraudulent promoters who truly are conmen, who cheated the public, who cheated the banks, who made rosy financial statements, who sadly had the likes of auditors who are willing to sign those statements. But what they did was a huge economic crime. And a huge economic crime also deserves a huge punishment. This is Akhilesh Bhargav signing off till we meet again. Namaskar.
Now be the first to know about the latest updates on our new news app. Go on your Android or iOS, search for HW News Network. Download our app, choose the language you prefer to get updates in, and be up to date with the latest news.
Namaskar, this is Amitabh Bachchan. In India, 195.5 million people are insufficiently nourished. That's almost 14.8% of our population. It has been estimated that 1.4 tons of food goes waste every year against each hungry Indian. To help solve this issue, former Commissioner of Police D. Sivanandan has started the Roti Bank Foundation. If you have extra food during a celebration or a function, dial 86-555-80001 and Roti Bank will ensure the food doesn't go waste. They will make sure that the food reaches those who need it the most. It will allow those less fortunate ones to celebrate your joy. It takes 100 rupees to feed one child and 3,000 rupees to feed him for a full year. Should you wish to make a monetary donation, you can make one through www.rotibankindia.org or hashtag Roti Bachao, Bhuk Mitao. Thank you very much. Namaskar.